With that, we bring in Ambassador Nathan Sales, formerly of the Trump administration, Ambassador at Large for Counterterrorism, among other distinctions. Ambassador, the president went to great lengths and pains to talk about our desire to protect civilians or anybody else from a casualty during this attack. You've been inside these conversations, the go, no-go orders, both for Qasem Soleimani's killing and for Abu Bakr al-Baghdadi. Tell us the decision between killing by a drone a la Qasem Soleimani versus going on the ground a la al-Baghdadi.
Well, Leland, it's good to see you again. And I think the first and most important thing to say is this is a great day for America.
Undoubtedly.
As the president said, Ayman al-Zawahiri was an enemy of our country for many decades, and he has the blood of countless Americans on his hands. Their blood is avenged today because of the heroism of our military and our intelligence community. So tip of the hat to all involved in this operation. Now, when it comes to how you structure an operation, there's some circumstances where you want to use a drone. There's some circumstances where you may want to use special operations forces, ground troops to go in and carry out an operation. There's no hard and fast rule that says you have to use one or the other in certain circumstances. It all depends on the specific conditions on the ground, the operational objectives. One of the things that you do get when you send troops into harm's way is you get the opportunity to collect what the intelligence community calls captured enemy material, pocket litter, thumb drives, hard drives, electronic devices that you can then exploit to learn more about that terrorist organization, learn more about whether they've got any attacks planned against the United States. If you incinerate all that stuff via drone, you've accomplished your goal of taking out the bad guy, but it comes at a cost in terms of your intelligence collection capabilities.
Great point. And you talk about the intelligence that goes into this. This wasn't a cave in Tora Bora. This wasn't even some village in Kandahar. This was downtown Kabul that al-Zawahiri was living in. Al-Qaeda was back in Kabul, living in a safe house with freedom, freedom to be there. Not much happens in Kabul without the Taliban's understanding. Either the Taliban was helping us, which is sort of hard to believe, or the Taliban is back to allowing al-Qaeda to live in Kabul, which is exactly how we got to 9/11.
That's exactly right. There is a sense in which today's victory is a tactical victory that points to a very large strategic problem. And that strategic problem is the long-standing and enduring relationship between the Taliban and Al-Qaeda. And when the United States cut and run from Afghanistan a year ago, a lot of people worried that this meant that Al-Qaeda was going to be back in business. Well, what we heard from the president's mouth tonight was within the past couple of months, Zawahiri apparently felt safe enough to move back into Kabul, the capital city of Afghanistan, under Taliban control in order to be reunited with his family. That tells us, I think, something very, very worrying about the relationship between AQ and the Taliban and the need for us to continue to focus on this going forward. We can't afford to simply wash our hands and declare victory and say, all right, we got al-Zawahiri. We may have gotten him, but this points to a much deeper problem of hand-in-glove coordination between the Taliban and al-Qaeda.
Here was the president's promise, threat, sort of victory lap as it relates to what terrorists around the world needed to know. Take a listen.
Justice has been delivered, and this terrorist leader is no more. People around the world no longer need to fear the vicious and determined killer. The United States continues to demonstrate our resolve and our capacity to defend the American people against those who seek to do us harm. We make it clear again tonight that no matter how long it takes, no matter where you hide, if you are a threat to our people, the United States will find you and take you out.
You've done this for a long time. Obviously, that is a rally around the flag domestically. Do the terrorists really care?
I think they do. Anytime you can launch a decapitation strike on the top leadership of a terrorist organization, that's going to have effects on the morale of the group. We know that when we took out bin Laden, that demoralized Al-Qaeda. We know that when we took out Baghdadi during the Trump administration, that demoralized ISIS. And the other thing that this does is beyond just demoralizing the rank and file, it makes these guys play defense. If they know that the Americans can take out their boss, what does that mean about our ability to take out middle management? And so they run to ground, they hide, they spend more energy trying to stay alive that otherwise might have been spent developing plots, raising money, radicalizing, propagandizing, and so on. Any day that terrorists have to play more defense is a good day for the United States.
Undoubtedly a great day. What do you make of the fact that this was done, in the words of President Biden, over the horizon? That was the promise, remember, when we withdrew from Afghanistan, this over-the-horizon capability. Brett Bruen of the Obama administration's national security apparatus was on with us, and he said, yes, we have it, but the lack of intelligence assets in Afghanistan make it so much harder to use.
Well, I think that's exactly right. Over the horizon, it's too soon to say whether this is a vindication of the administration strategy. What we know is we got Zawahiri. There's a lot we don't know. We don't know how we found him. We don't know what kinds of intelligence capabilities we still have in Afghanistan, and whether those capabilities can be used to go after in a more systematic way the networks that threaten us.
Yeah, whether we have the ability to do that. Hey, thanks for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to subscribe. Click the red button to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.